the pieces of the puzzle that I've decided provides. There's 10 of them. Tools and resources are 2 of them. We're a source of information, a source of motivation, a resource for the people that might need a little bit of encouragement. If this show, The Source, can help our members do that, I'm all in and I'm excited. Good afternoon, everybody. Kurt P. White here. Welcome to the September edition of The Source. I am your host again today, so that means it must be the 4th Tuesday of the month. And for all of you that, kind of the weather watchers and everything, we've had some gorgeous weather these past several days, and today is the first day of fall. Again, every time I'm here doing The Source, I sit here and I wonder, where has time gone? But hopefully you've had an opportunity to get out and enjoy some of this weather, and as summer turns into fall, Mother Nature will be our friend and continue to allow us to get outdoors and enjoy the weather. That being said, thank you for joining me here at Widecast Studios today. I'm kind of flying solo here at the studio, but I'm happy to say today that I do have a guest with me, Miss Sabra Maurice, and she is actually coming to us via phone. So, Sabra, tell our watchers and listeners hello.
Hello, happy fall.
So Sabra is joining us today, and as always, what we do here at The Source, and what I've decided, a big thing that kind of centers around is what we call our weekly winning resource. And all of you members out there, I should be preaching to the choir. You should have already received your weekly winning resource on Sunday at 5 o'clock. Hopefully you've had a chance or opportunity to read through it for this week. If you have, you're certainly aware of the fact that the weekly winning word is courage. So that's a great word. I'm always excited every time I come into the studio to talk about whatever the word is, but courage definitely is one that I think, I have a handle on, and it's something that we can easily talk about. And having Sabra on the phone with me today, it's going to be a great conversation because she's actually going to talk a little bit about and share some information about her upcoming success group, live success group. And I believe you can join on, can you join virtually too, Sabra, or is it just live?
I think we're going to possibly do some recordings that people can watch later.
Sure.
But it's very, it's kind of experiential, so we really want people to come in person if possible.
Yeah, obviously the goal, and we're doing our best to try to bring people together again, but we'll definitely, no matter what, have options. So that being said, we're going to try to share a little bit about the weekly winning word, but of course we want to give Sabra the opportunity to tell us all about her Smash My Stress program. Smash My Stress. Try saying that 3 times fast. But so if we go back to the winning word, Sabra, and again it's courage, and I always start out with the definition, which, according to the weekly winning resource, then, the definition of courage is the ability to do something that you know is right or good, even though it's frightening or difficult. When you hear that word, and I guess that'd be my first question to you, Sabra. What do you think of the first time somebody or you hear that word courage?
Well, definitely when I was thinking about it this morning on my drive to work, I thought as a counselor how many people I work with that the courage to get help and the courage to heal, the courage to overcome something that they're struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
So many things in life, loss, crises, change, things that are kind of out of our control. It takes courage. It takes courage to face things that we've been through, and life is all about courage. I kind of got the feeling that courage is the opposite of fear at some level, and that, facing those fears, using your faith to go over fears, and kind of conquering things that we might experience in life, whether we need help with that or we do it on our own. On the other side of that, I feel like that's how people feel, is they feel strength and they feel courage. Like,
Right.
I'm stronger because I've overcame something courageously.
Mm-hmm.
And now I take that with me. I take that strength and that power that I know how to overcome things, and it turns into courage and
Mm-hmm.
strength. And I think that's a very cool process to watch.
That's awesome. And you brought up real quick. I didn't give you an opportunity. Just introduce yourself real quick. And you mentioned that you were a counselor. Tell our listeners just a little bit what you do.
Yeah, I have been a counselor in the area for about 20, going on 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and have got the opportunities to work in lots of different organizations with lots of different people and different ages, and really get to sit with people when they are in different things that they have to be courageous about. Could be a divorce, it could be raising children, it could be loss, it could be, just all the normal things that we all go through at different
Mm-hmm.
levels in our life. And it's a blessing to be able to sit with them and support them and help them find ways to cope with that and develop that sense of courage and power and not be afraid and just go through life's journey. So, through that, we do kind of accumulate sometimes feelings and stress,
Mm-hmm.
and can turn into anxiety, depression,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And developing things that we can do to really help us counter that and heal through the hard things in life is kind of what our success group is about.
Right.
Is to smash out that stress and take control of our own physical and mental health, so that we can be who we want to be in the world and face things, with that courage and that
Sure.
strength and that love that we want to put out there.
So yeah, we'll mention definitely the details of Smash My Stress here in a minute. I wanted to again ask, as you were saying, so you're a licensed counselor. Do you do this? Is this your own business?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Got my degree there at Bradley in Peoria, and currently I work in private practice. I work for 2 different group practices and my own practice as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I work for Whole Life Solutions in Peoria in the Galesburg area, and then I work for the Mental Wellness Center in Bloomington,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do my own practice, Connections Guidance Counseling, at in my home in Peoria. So I'm kind of all over the place, but it's a nice opportunity to work in different communities.
Sure. Well, you definitely stay busy, it sounds like, and
Yes.
I guess the point or reason that the question kind of came to mind is just having the courage to do your own business or your own thing. And it sounds like you're helpful in many different capacities, but you also basically running your own business takes a tremendous amount of courage, and we have a lot of people, the members of I've Decided, that fall in that same category. I would say, when I was thinking about courage, I asked you, well, what do I think of when I first hear that word? First of all, I'd share with you that a lot of times the image that comes to mind is the lion in the Wizard of Oz. And I think that would probably be the same for many of our listeners and watchers, is, that whole story of following the yellow brick road, and how the lion just really needed to find, but basically the lesson that I learned from that is, in the end, once they did find Oz, or found the wizard, along the path, he definitely needed friends. He couldn't do it on his own, but Oz pretty much just pointed out to the fact that he already had it. It was just a matter of finding it and realizing he had it, and flexing it in such a way that he could build up his confidence, and, like you said, realize that it's something that he could control. We mentioned in the Weekly Winning article the fact that courage is definitely a behavior. It's something that we can flex and we can contract our mental muscle. And I believe that courage is one of those things that certainly fits into that category. I talk about when I go and I do my motivational speaking, which, by the way, I always share the fact, and I believe it's true now, to get up and do public speaking or stand in front of people, there's actually a statistic out there that says there's people that fear motivational speaking or standing up in front of people and talking. They fear that more than they do death. And
Wow.
yeah, and I tell you what, as I've learned and I'm gaining traction in that arena of going out and talking in front of people, it does get easier, which confirms the fact that it's something that I can learn. It's a behavior. The courage does get stronger as I go, but I've watched other people struggle with it. And as you mentioned earlier, with some of the people you talk to, courage is. Did you say courage was the opposite of fear? What did you say there?
Yes. Yeah, it feels like the opposite of fear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes it's just pushing through that fear and doing what you're afraid of and getting used to it, or
Mm-hmm.
taking a step in the right direction
Mm-hmm.
of your goals or your dreams or whatever you need to kind of conquer, that gives you that courage.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you don't get boxed into the fears.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and
I
fear.
like the lion. Yeah.
Fear is ever present too. It never goes away. No matter how much courage one person has, I don't think they're certainly, like you said. I agree they're opposites, but I don't think either one of them. The fear is always present some way somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a matter of overcoming that fear. I think is what that kind of builds up your courage.
Yes.
I was thinking too on my way down here. Personally, part of my story is, again, I stand up and I share my stories with people. And as far as my disability is concerned, I have a physical disability, and if visually you can see pretty easily, what some of my challenges are going to be in life, and therefore it's just people's automatic response just by seeing me is, wow, it must take a lot of courage to do what he does. And I kind of look at that as a blessing in some way when it comes to being able to be a witness or show or express to people that I might be courageous. But it also gets me to thinking that I also believe that we all have a disability of some sort. And you mentioned earlier the fact you work with people when it comes to stress, anxiety, depression, victims of abuse or addictions. Those are all things that people also struggle with, which I would consider somewhat of a disability. And it takes a lot of courage to overcome those types of things too. And so that's why, thank God for people like you that work with people that are in that situation, because it might even take more courage for them to be able to overcome life's obstacles and smash their stress. Is that
Absolutely.
Am I kind of
Yeah.
on the right train with
I
that?
totally think so. And they're struggling with stuff that nobody can see. It's internal.
Mm-hmm.
And they might be behaving a certain way, and people are getting upset with that, but they don't really understand what's going on inside that they're battling.
Well,
and so
and
they
the
have to tell somebody or
Yeah,
communicate it. Yeah.
and that's kind of where the fear is. I guess for me, I'm not quite as scared because people can easily see that there's some physical challenges. The ones that aren't as visible, the fear there is, what will people think of me? Or, or people are going to think differently of me, or I'm not going to be able to hold up whatever this expectation is if people really know what's inside or what I'm dealing with. So, yeah,
Right.
it's definitely something that when it comes to building up courage, people have to be willing to admit whatever it is, whatever challenges that they have, in order to take that first step to overcome and build up the courage and overcome some of those fears.
Absolutely.
That being said, again, now I want to turn. You mentioned a little bit. Smash My Stress is your success group, which it looks here that you're the first Wednesday, that it's going to be on October 7th, starting from 7 to 8 p.m. with that, I'm going to lead in, and I just tell us a little bit about what people could expect and why would they want to be a part of Smash My Stress.
Sure. As you were saying, I think when you do talk to other people about your struggles and it connects humans to talk about the struggles that we go through and to support each other, and having that courage to do that really helps people heal. It helps you be good role models for other people. It's just so important. So yeah, getting people together to support each other, but mainly because stress can be damaging both physically and mentally over time if it's not dealt with and we keep it from building up. It's important to do things to counteract stress, and not just stress relief, but deeper relaxation becomes naturally healing for people. And so what we're going to do in this 4-part series is we're going to learn and practice some of those deeper relaxation things. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to educate and then have an experiential process of actually doing. We're going to do energy healing, probably some hypnosis and sound healing and meditation. So we're going to cover some of the techniques that can be done either by yourself or with a therapist to really get to those deeper levels of stress and get you into a relaxed state, and to change things very significantly for you, both mentally and physically, to be healthier and happier in life and have the skills to kind of go out there and conquer things. So that's our plan. I think it's going to be awesome, and we're going to limit it to about 10 people tops. So sign up as soon as you can, because we want to have a small group. If we have good turnout, we'll just keep kind of repeating the process, but I think it'll be really helpful for people.
That's awesome. And again, I'm sitting here reading the flyer a little bit, and all of those things you mentioned would be things that I've never experienced or been a part of hypnosis or or sound healing. That sounds intriguing to me. And it says that the series will give you the tools and healing to find your inner peace and stay calm. Who couldn't claim? You'd be lying if you said that that's not something that was interest to you, to find your inner peace and stay calm.
That's the part that we can find, and that's the part that we can control. If we're peaceful on the inside, then the world can kind of come at us, kind of spin around us, and we can handle it and cope with it much better. So it's really about having your core inner peace and your tools to cope with kind of anything that comes at you in the world.
Well, and you mentioned to please, if you're interested, go out on the website, www.ivedecided.org. You can register for Sabra's success group, Smash My Stress, out there on the website. That's the best place, probably the only place at this point. The safest place to get registered, to make sure you get one of those spots. As she said, it is going to have to be limited a little bit. We want to have as many people there in person as we can, but also practice social distancing and stay safe that way too. So the quicker you can sign up, the better. I can share with you, for I've Decided community members, the cost for Sabra's group is going to be $149. And for non-members, it's $299. So get out there, register for Sabra's Smash My Stress program. It's going to be Wednesdays, 7 to 8 o'clock, and you can sign up at ivedecided.org. Sabra, was there any final thoughts or anything that you weren't able to mention to our listeners that you wanted to get your 2 cents in as our time's winding down?
Not that I can really think of, other than just doing things like this that are out there in the community, that you can connect with other people that lift you up and encourage you and give you tools. It's super important for your life. So, sign up. I hope that we can have a good group and support each other and have some fun. It's going to be pretty laid back and, like I said, really experiential.
So, circling back to our weekly winning word, have the courage to sign up.
Yes.
Take that first step. You might be a little bit out of your comfort zone, but that's okay. That's kind of what courage is all about. Is instead of being confident of your surroundings and living in your bubble, have the courage to step out and try something new, something different, because you never know. The other way to look at the having courage is so many of us get wrapped up in, well, they're afraid, or they're afraid of how it might affect them. Look at it from the standpoint of, if I'm courageous enough to take that first step, who out there might be somebody that I could help?
Mm-hmm.
By taking that first step, you never know. Life, unfortunately, a lot of things aren't about just you. So have the courage to go ahead and take that first step, take action, have faith that you'll have a community of supporters to lift up and support you no matter what, especially if at I've Decided. As we're wrapping up here, I want to thank Sabra again for joining me. It has been a pleasure talking to you on the phone here. I think our listeners got a lot out of both your success group, Smash My Stress, and I think we talked a little bit about courage, didn't we?
Yes, we did. My pleasure. Happy to be here.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, October 7th. Thanks
Yes.
again. Thank you all for showing up for The Source, and we will see you again in October. Have a wonderful day.
PeoriaLife.com